Hello everyone and welcome back to Banished. We are here in Folsonville, and as you can see, I haven't deleted anything. It is still the same town that I started the last episode with you guys, which should have been the same town from the first episode, but we already know what happened there. So we're going to get the game running here, and I'm noticing that I have a little bit of a food issue. I've also learned, I've been playing the game a little bit off camera in a different area and checking out some other fine videos from people like Quill18 and Italics from Gamer's Descent, just to see what they have going on and to learn new information. Some of the things that I've learned is it can be quite freeing, and I've tried this, to place things without having to plan out the road system first. I know that sometimes the temptation is, especially in city building style games, that we want to go off of roads, because that's what we're used to. We're used to having to put down roads to build the things that we need to, and to not have to do that can be actually kind of fun and create new and fun, interesting design elements, because you're not limiting yourself necessarily to your roads. The other thing I learned, which is really handy, is while we're still going to get these warnings down here, I'm turning them off so they won't keep pinging the noise pinging on my screen when they do happen. Now, getting into what we're going to do today, I'm not quite sure. I know I've got a food issue, so I'm going to look into probably another Gatherer's Hut, because Gatherer's Hut, as I have learned, far and away seem to be the best option for food. Now, these produce a lot. I think we just laid these, so we're going to actually have our first season's crops coming up this autumn here, so this will certainly help. But in order to contain or maintain a strong variety, we want to have these crops. We want to have the venison and meat that we're getting from the hunter's cabin. We want to make sure that we have a Gatherer's Hut, which we do. I think we're going to do another one. I've also learned some things about the old growth when it comes to herbalism and things like that. Quill18 had a great video about that, and it just simply showed that mature trees are generally what you need. Not necessarily the original forest, so that kind of dispels that a little bit. I watched that video and I've been trying it in another city, and it's been working out very well. I haven't noticed, there's no discernible negativity to having a forester's hut near an herbalist, so I'm actually probably going to get that up soon, because it's a good idea to have them. They work well with each other, and we're going to need wood continually. That seems to be an issue. So let's get in here, and actually let's go ahead and do, not a woodcutter, a forester's lodge. And I'm going to put this down. I'm going to line it up like so, right behind the herbalist. And I've been kind of sticking out little houses for these people to live, so they're kind of close to work. That works out really well. This distance isn't quite as far as you think. I've been playing in a different map, trying new things, and I have a little thing out here, and way down at the bottom, even much further than this, probably around in here, I had another little town, sort of just standalone things, a hunter, a gatherer, an herbalist, and a couple of houses, just to kind of spread things around, and that works out fairly well. It takes a long time to get your people to and from, but you know what? If you have your ducks in a row, if you have food, if you have lumber, if you have the clothing and a blacksmith, which actually we're going to need to get into a tailor here quickly, you can do just fine with that. It takes longer, but again, we're really not in such a huge rush. This doesn't have to be a speed play. We don't have to get, we're not trying to necessarily get through this just as fast as we can. Some people play that way. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. I'm going to want to move at a certain pace so you guys aren't bored to tears when I'm playing, but it also doesn't have to be super fast. So, getting in here, we have citizens. We need some more. We only have a few houses. We want to make sure the food, though, is taken care of, because that can pose problems. I think I've got a Gatherer's Hut here, which is going to cover this area. I think I might delve right down in here. There's no reason why not, after trying it in such a different area in my other video, or not my other video, my other town. And this is kind of centralized. I'm going to move it a little bit off so it's just touching the water. And let's put that hut down there. And let's see, Gatherer's Hut. What else would I like down here? I'm going to put a little house. I want to have some that we can actually have our gatherers living right next door. And what I really am enjoying about this game, one of the many things, because this game sure is a lot of fun, the citizens here are smart enough, even without putting down our schools, they're smart enough that the people who are going to work here will live here. So you don't have to worry about assigning them or wondering if they're going to continually come from all the way out here. So what I am going to do, I think, at some point is clear out some rocks. We have plenty of laborers. So again, there's no reason. Let's get in here. And let's pull some of these stones out of here. I don't know if pulling the rocks is going to be detrimental to gathering. I wouldn't see why it is, because we want forest growth. I don't know if she's pulling off of moss from stones, so to speak, but we're going to go ahead and get rid of these and clear the stones out, because again, I'll probably put another forester's lodge down here to keep this area full of trees and lush. So we've got that going on. And sometimes what I like to do is after I've placed, I might take a small road and start it so it kind of gets them to build a little quicker. But for now, we've got plenty of builders, we've got plenty of laborers. Let's have them work that out. And also, let's check over here. We're going to need a forester. So now I still am the quick tip that I posted. I still think that is a very viable option, and I may look into it. But I have seen also that it can work out very well to at least start with just planting, and then by the time this fills out and you're going to cutting, it works well. Again, I will probably clear out these rocks and iron myself, although the Forester's Lodge will do that. You'll look in here and you'll see it'll list stone, iron, wood, all the things that they clear in their area, although it's going to be quite slow. So I will probably get our laborers in there to do that, because that's what they're for. They're already clearing out this area. We've got the stones, we've got almost the logs that we need. We're already getting going on this house here, so this is working out just how I want it. And I'm probably going to have, as I explained before, some little areas where we're going to have maybe a couple of houses here and there just to kind of help network. But I still think that our main town might end up in here, and then I might move like our gathering services off to the sides, to the outskirts. We could even keep them to the north, you know. Living in Michigan where I live, that's kind of how it works. You want to see nice, beautiful forest and scenery, head up north. So I might just do that. So you never can tell. We can build this any way that we want. And of course, I'm always open to your suggestions and comments. So it looks like our food is doing well, because we're in early winter, and this is usually when they eat it. They hoarded a little bit in the new houses, which is fine too. And we see, look at there, we've already got a couple of people. Quite an age difference. I'm not even going to get into that. Not touching that with a 10-foot pole. We're clearing out this area. That's doing well. We're building our gatherer's hut, so they're going to be set down here. Let's go ahead and look at putting down a tailor. That's going to be right here. And the tailor's a little large. Not the person, the building. Although the tailor may be quite large. I don't know. Maybe they're very well fed. And I also apologize because I kept calling it a seamstress. That's not my attempt at being sexist. It's just, that's, I guess, what I grew up the term being. So I apologize if I offended anyone. It wasn't what I was not what I was after. So I'm going to put our tailor right here on the other side of the bridge. For no other reason than, why not? I'll clear out a big stone and just, why shouldn't they have a nice scenic view just like the blacksmith does? I think these are the little idioms that we put in our head, you know, that we see that we want them, that I don't know that idiom is the right word, but we want them to have nice scenic views, that somehow it matters to them, and I don't think it does, but it makes it fun for us, right? So that's what we're going to do. We've got our gatherer going. They're already pulling roots. It is amazing to me the efficiency of gatherers. They really, really put down a lot of food in a short amount of time, and it adds a lot of variety. So that's going to do really well for us. I don't want to get into... I do want to get into cattle at some point, but I don't have the trade port, so let's see. We're doing fine out here. For right now, I think this area is kind of doing what it needs to do. You know what? Let's put a house out here. Let's put someplace to live for the people who work in this area. And I'm going to back this up. See, we've got a road going here. So let's just back this up. Actually, you know what? Let's put it over here. Yeah, why not? That'll be good. Let's get a house going in there. And then hopefully, even though these buildings are already occupied, hopefully the workers will move in to that house, so they won't be too far from their jobs. And down here, I'm looking at, I already want another Forester's Lodge. We had somebody die during childbirth. Oh, that's a shame. I don't have a cemetery yet either, which isn't crazy important in the very beginning. We're only in year 3. Now, I wonder, I wasn't watching this, and I'll have to watch it in replay. I wonder that when someone dies during childbirth, does the child die as well? They don't mention that because obviously in real life that's not a given. Oftentimes, especially with medicine these days, the children survive. So I wonder how that works in our little village. Let's move along to something a little happier. Where was I? Oh yes, we were looking at putting down another Forester's Lodge. And I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to face it inwards so they're all on the same row that will eventually be put here. And they will build that up, and we will get even more foresters in. Right now we have 2. Probably assign another 2 to get started, just to keep this area full and lush, and keep our logs a-coming. And then in the meantime, of course, I will have zero hesitation in tearing all this down if we need it, which we might. We don't have a whole lot of stored logs. I know we have some building queued up, but you know what? We're going to go ahead and do that right now. We're going to get in here and start clearing out some of this stuff because I have a feeling we'll probably still move in this direction. And if we don't want to destroy everything, we can always rebuild it. At least, well, we can at least get more trees. So let's clear all of that out. Because there's a ridge right here, so we might clear this entire area out along here. And that won't affect what happens with our Forester's Lodge because he won't be able to quite reach the other side of the hill. I don't think. Maybe he will. Maybe he'll go over there and plant. But you see there are no trees there right now. That's for a reason. That's by design. So that's looking good. That's a lot of back and forth, I know. We checked this, we checked that. And how are we doing here? Previous season, 840. That's a lot of cabbage. 924 on the corn. Excellent. These are producing well. How are we doing in the barn? Oh, we got plenty of room. That's good. Glad to hear that. And blacksmith is tooling right along. We don't have our tailor yet. They haven't started building that yet. Oh, they're still bringing over logs. That would be why. It's looking good with all the growth we have around here. I really like, I don't know, I guess I've always been a woods kind of guy. I really enjoy the forest, so. Alright, our herbalist has reached their limit. I'm going to raise the limit. I have also discovered that herbs trade very well on the market, so if we can collect more of them, well, apparently, how many do I need? Okay, apparently 300. Apparently we have a lot more than I thought we did, and that's fine. Is it showing here? It does. We only had 100, but you know what? If they can get to 300, God bless them. If not, they'll die trying, so should be okay. I'm going to cap this with a road soon, because I've been packing houses a little tighter together, but I'm not worried about that. That's aesthetic stuff, which I really, really enjoy, as you probably know by now. I'm a very big fan of that, but with this game, I'm doing a little bit of both. I'm trying to go a little more freeform, and it's, like I said, it's quite liberating. It's a heck of a lot of fun, so let's get a tailor in there, and let's see how that's going. And our reserve of food is low again. Well, hopefully that'll improve soon. Forester's Lodge, they're working on that still. Gatherer's Hut, they're not pulling in quite as much as I'd hoped. I sure hope there's a lot around. I mean, we've got a decent area. We don't have too much wasted area. A little here, a little here. But I would expect them to actually pull in a little more than they are. But you have to kind of give the game a little time to develop the things it needs to develop. So, and that's really good. The only bummer are these trees are blocking our view, but I guess that's okay for now. I really do want to plop another house down or build another house, but I'm afraid that if I do it, we might run into issues with our amount of food, and you live and die by it. You really do. An army marches on its stomach, so too does a town grow. I will tell you right now, because if you don't have food and lumber, especially early in the game, you're going to find yourself in all sorts of trouble. So if we've got a hunting cabin there, and we don't have one out here, I think I need to find myself a way to build another hunting cabin. And if we're going to keep this area fairly replenished, it's not a well-known or documented fact or anything that the game will run where the forest is lush. So, I mean, as far as I know, it won't matter. Maybe I'll put my other hunting cabin here, but I tend to think that the deer will be where the trees are. So, let's put a hunting cabin here. Food and hunting cabin, and let's rotate this a little bit so I can kind of see where would I like to go. We're going to butt this up. We're going to go back to back right there. And that puts us in a pretty wide range. He's got this entire area that he can go in and hunt, and that makes me pretty happy. Of course, I just covered where the dirt road can go, but that's okay. We'll maybe go around this way and this way, attach it in and bring it out. And look at that. There's a bunch up there. And I think, is that going to be out of our range? Just inside it. But they're moving the wrong way. You want to come back this way. I think we'll be okay. There's more over here. Can we reach that? I really should have paid attention to where the food was before I put that down, but I still think we'll be okay. So let's let that build. Let's head back over here. Of course, they're mocking us by just hanging out, drinking on the stream. Look at that. Lots of antlers. That makes for good eating, and if nothing else, coat racks. Gotta have some place to hang the coat that our tailor is making. Ironically, using the leather from the... See what a wonderful animal they are? They provide so much to us. Alrighty, how we doing over here? We've got our occupants, an herbalist and a forester. See there? Even though we built these buildings first, our herbalist and one of our foresters is living right next door. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That makes me so happy, because it's just sort of one less thing that I have to think about. And multitasking, yeah. Let's do as little... Well, he's eating, right? He's clearing off the ground for the hunter's lodge. I almost want to warn him, but I'm not going to. Now, if this guy takes his axe and clubs him over the head, no, not going to happen. If he sticks around long enough, he's going to be lunch. It just may yet happen. Whatever he's munching on in there, he's very fond of. And now he's trapped. Prison. I really wonder if they're going to... Oh, he's trying to get away. He's trying to get away. Oh, well. I'm sure there'll be plenty more. So as you can see, we're still getting things built in a relatively quickly fashion, even though we're coming all the way from here. So don't worry too much if you want to spread your stuff out a little bit, because one of the things I've certainly learned as well is don't get married to your original ideas. They can build, change, and advance, grow, evolve, whatever you want to call it. So don't worry too much about that. I think, going to put down another house. We look like we're doing okay with food, and I want to have some more growth going on with our buildings, because, or with our citizens, because I want to make sure that if we don't grow, we're not going to achieve one of my goals I set for the game, which is I want to get to at least 600 citizens in this medium map. I don't think there's any reason why I shouldn't. So we're going to bring this off 2, put that down right there, and I think these are going to actually group together tightly. I'm going to segregate it a little bit from here with the road and pack those together a little bit, just to change up the look. I want to vary it a little. I really am enjoying how you can freely put things. And it's working out well. How are we doing? Excellent. We have now got hunters. Now, how many hunters do we have? We have 3. I'm going to bump that to 4 for now. Actually, you know what? Let's go... Should I go with 6? You know, we've got extra laborers. Let's go ahead and bump that. Oh, you know what? I lost this, and I liked this map. Yeah, let's bump that to 6. Because now we even have another laborer, because we have some childrens that are going to be growing up. Let's keep it like that. We only have 2 farmers, which is okay, because it looks like we're pulling plenty of vegetation from up here. I'm not going to worry about that. 3 fishermen is fine. I'm absolutely going to go to 4 gatherers, though. I'm surprised I didn't do that sooner. I may even up this later on. And the main reason I'm going with so much hunting right now is, again, because of the multifaceted ability of the deer, which is the venison for food, and then the leather for hide, which we can trade well and also use for coats, because, as you can see, our tailor, we're out of leather already. and having 8 hunters and 2 hunting cabins does not produce as much leather as you might think. Although he's already, and he's chopping down logs himself. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. It's good to know that they're multi-talented. They're not worried about picking up somebody else's job and doing it. That's good news. So, we're doing pretty well. This is kind of where we want to be right now. I want to build a little more. I want to see this built. That'll certainly help. I think we're going to have this build out, and that's going to do it for today. And then I think soon thereafter, I really want to look into getting, I would like a cemetery, and the main reason is because I want to head off at the pass. The people who die, our little town folk want someplace to go and mourn, so it keeps their happiness up. So we'd like a small cemetery, which doesn't take long. And I want to put down our merchant trading post, because what I want to get into is cattle, because I would really like to get some sheep. Sheep, again, do a couple of things like deer. Obviously, we get wool for great clothing and coats, and then we get mutton, which is going to feed our little town folk, so we're going to have even more variety of food. And as you can see right now, we're at full health. Hopefully it stays that way. We got to get a school going on so we can start educating some of these people. And but we've got a lot to do. We've got a lot to do, but for right now, we've got some good building going on. They just had a kid, and that's fantastic. That's what I want to see. Pulling out some herbs too. How are we doing with our stock of herbs? We're getting there. That's great, because again, these will trade off really well. These trade pretty well. Iron tools, leather coats, those things are... I mean, foods will trade as well, but they don't seem to trade quite as well as those other materials. So this is coming along. We're going to sit here and we're going to have this build, and this is going to take us out of the episode. I want to thank you guys for watching, and as always, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below for me. Let me know what you think, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and we're going to see you next time for another episode of Banished.